let's go to data dictionary. Data dictionary T code is AC11. Okay, so AC11, from where we can start our data dictionary. So data dictionary is our global repository from where we can access the table, view, data group, type group, domain, search help, lock object. These all can be accessed from the data dictionary, and the T code is AC11. This AC11 is the T code
Is a T
from
code.
where we can access the data dictionary.
Sure.
So data dictionary T code is AC11.
AC11.
Yeah, and for displaying the data from table, we are having,
AC16.
yes, from
AC16.
AC11 also we can see, and from AC16 and AC16 in,
AC16N.
yeah, fine. So in database table, view, data type, type group, these all are the objects under ABAP dictionary. So you know how the database table is there in this application server. Uh, Actually, how the SAP R3 system has been designed, you know that uh, we are having a one presentation server, means UI, and then application server, and then database, right?
Database. Yes.
That is the three-tier architecture,
3D
right?
architecture. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what happens on this application server? Uh, on this SAP application server, there is database, there is own database for SAP, and on this database physical data is stored. Means uh, uh, how can I say like that, this database table on application server, we are having one table here, and just same table will be there on database table, which actually stores the data. So sometimes one-to-one mapping will be there. If suppose we are having one data, one table on application server, so with the same name or with having their own attribute or type on the same, suppose this is Oracle database, and this is our application server database. So for example, if we check here the Mara table, so this Mara table is there on the application server, and on application server, this is the type. This is the type here, dat set, cal 12, dat set. This is the type. But if we go and check on the Oracle database, that type can be in different, means this can be D, or this can be 8, this can be simply C, means there can be their own language. In their own language, everything has been defined their own database, and the mapping is there between application server and database server with the database interface. In application server, there is one more component called database interface. So what does it do? It takes all the SE11 data and map with the database, whatever kind of database. This can be any database, Oracle database, DB2 database, Max database, any kind of database it can be, and accordingly this database interface converts the application server database and their type, everything, to match or to map with its actual database. Okay,
Okay.
so this is
It only
our
takes care of the ASCII and some of the basic component of the database, right? It only does that. The table structure with the field type, basically the column type and the overall structure, that doesn't change. That remains the same, right? So what I'm saying,
This yeah.
the data element, the data type, length, decimal, all that remains same. It's only the database basic like operating structure. That's what it converts, that interface, right?
So
Because
the
DB2
this
has a
column.
different data structure. It has a it ex the ASCII, and there are various other things. The real basic coding language that prepares that database, it just manages that. It doesn't manage the table structure and all that. That remains the same, right?
Actually, in the database, at the database level, this the data type and all will be as per their own means as per their own syntax. This that's cat
Okay.
that's this is our application server. This all this database element type is as per application server database type, but this can be different on the database level. Okay, on the
Okay.
database level this can be different as per the respective database, uh,
Okay.
and this column name and this thing, this will be the same. This column name and this can be the same. This is also not guaranteed because there are three types of uh, table on application server in SAP. In SAP there are three types of table. One is transparent, second is pooled, and third one is cluster. So in
Hmm.
transparent table, the name of the column and the name of the column in the database, means name of the column in SAP and name of the column in the actual database, both will be same. But in cluster and pool table, this concept is different. So I will tell you one by one about all this.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So actually there are three types of table in SAP. There are three types of table in SAP. One is transparent table, second is full table, and third is cluster table. But in S4 HANA, this means full table and cluster table is not there. Only transparent table is there in S4 HANA. Okay. In
Okay.
S4 HANA, yeah,
Hmm.
this full table and cluster table is not exist anymore. Only transparent table is there. But in conventional, yeah, but in conventional ERP system which we have been using, in that there are three kind of table. One is transparent table. In
Hmm.
transparent table, one to one mapping is there. One to one mapping. One to one mapping is there. One to one
Hmm.
mapping means suppose we are having one table in SAP, then corresponding to that one table, there will be one table on database exactly. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, in application, yeah,
Hmm.
this is fine, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And in pool table, what
Hmm.
happens in pool table? Suppose we have this is SAP system. Uh, this is our SAP system, and this is our database. So in SAP system, suppose we have two table, table one and table two, or we can have more than two table also. So combining all these tables, we can put the content of all this table into one table of the database. Okay, into one table of the database. This can be uh, DB, suppose DB1.
Hmm.
So this all these three tables called the pool table. All these three table is called pool table, and this is called table pool. On
Okay.
database level, yeah, on database level, this
Hmm.
DB1 is called table pool, and these all combining three, this is called the pool table. Okay,
Hmm.
these all three will be called pool table, and this DB1, which is on the database, contains all the content of this tab 1, tab 2, tab 3
Mhm.
in this DB1. So in case of pool table, how does it do? In tab 1, we must be having some key, right? Key and content. In tab
Yes.
1, suppose
Mhm.
we are having some key and we have some content. And in tab 2, so suppose this is key 1. In tab 2, we can also have some key 2 and some content, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And in key 3, we can have also some content. So how it is stored in this DB1? There will be two key here. One is for first field will be like table and second field will be like uh, uh, means key.
Yeah.
First field will be like tab and second key will be like a key and then will be content. So
Mhm.
what it will do in this tab, it will put the tab 1 and in the key it will take the key 1 and then content will be, it will put this content here, content 1. Here also we can write content 1 for understanding purpose in the content 1.
Mhm.
Yeah, so on database level it will be storing the data in this format. Did you understand or not? Like, did you get
Yeah. No. I. Yeah. No. I understand. Makes sense. Okay.
have you understood? Yeah,
Yeah.
on SAP table, in on SAP there will be three table. There will be three table having the
Mhm.
they yeah there will be three table and all the table will be having their own key and content. But on SAP there will be only one table and that table will contain the data of all these three table. Okay, in the
Yeah.
form of
Yep.
this.
Yes. Okay.
So this is called, yeah, this is called pool table. So here also many to one relationship, many to
Mhm.
one mapping. So in pool table, many to one mapping will be there. In transparent table, one to one mapping, and in cluster table, again many to one mapping. But here in cluster table, only logically related data will be there in the cluster table.
Hmm.
Only logically related data, logically related data will be there on the cluster table. And this SAP uses their for their own purpose, like a documentation. Cluster table is being used for documentation purpose.
Mhm.
Documentation purpose. Suppose they have to store some text, some things, this kind of things like we have some T code or some table, and for that T code and table SAP has to prepare some documentation. In that case they use this cluster table concept. Otherwise, mainly most of the cases, in 99.99% cases, only this transparent table is being used. Other two are
Okay.
mainly used by SAP, which is not more relevant to us. Okay,
Okay.
so
Can you just mention in that notes that for S4 HANA only transparent table is being used, pool and cluster table does not exist anymore.
yeah, only transparent table is there in S4 HANA, in S4 HANA. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now database table. Now we will take one example how to create a table in SAP. And when we create the table in SAP, it will automatically create the table in actual database table. Yeah, in actual database table. So suppose we are going to create one table, JPK demo tab one. You have to log in again.
Mhm.
SC11 JPK demo tab one create. So when we create the table, we have to give the short description with uh, demo tab one. And here you can see the delivery class is given there. And if you click over F4 here, you will be seeing many more options here. Application table, customizing table, table of storing temporary data, again customizing protected against SAP upload, and all these different kind of delivery class.
Mhm.
But mostly we will be using A and C, only two types of table: application table and customizing table. Other five is not relevant to us. Means rarely SAP might be using all these five stuff, but we are not using all this L, G, E, S, W. Mainly if basis people requires to do some improvement, or if they will be requiring any kind of changes, uh, at that time they will do all the adjustment, and they do all these things from performance point of view, something like that. But
Okay.
mostly 99.99, almost in I have seen every time this A and C. So application table means that master and transaction data, and
Mhm.
customizing table, that is the maintained by the customer, or suppose like organizational data, or means where we have to customize, and we have to put some standard things in that customizing table is being used. So mostly we are
Mhm.
going to use A and C. Here we will be using the application table master and transaction. And then display and maintenance allowed with restrictions. Here there are three kinds of option we are having. One is display or maintenance allowed with restrictions, display or maintenance allowed, display or maintenance not allowed. Do you know about all these things? What does it stand for?
Um, just using common sense, I can say second, what is second and what is third. But
Mhm.
with restrictions, no, I'm not sure.
This display and maintenance allowed, the first one is like when we create the table maintenance generator, at that time we give some, we must have to give some that authorization group or role, then only we will be
Oh,
able
yes,
to
yes.
access. Yeah,
That
and this is,
security restrictions. Okay.
yes, with some restriction. Display or maintenance allowed, and display or maintenance not allowed. So let
Mm.
us put this one, display or maintenance allowed here. And after that we have to define the field.
Mhm.
So there are two types of table. One is client dependent and another is client independent. There
Okay.
are
Mm.
two types of table with respect to client. One is client dependent and second is client independent. You know the meaning of client dependent and client
Yes,
independent,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So if a table is client dependent, then we must have to declare the field MANDT.
Mhm.
MANDT. The first field should be MANDT and this should be key field. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And initial value means based upon the data type. There is suppose client length 3, this is the data type client, and if we put the initial value, then when
Mm-hmm.
we prepare our database table, it will take the initial value. So these are optional, this is not mandatory. If you want
Okay.
if you want to take the initial value to be stored in the database, you can select it here, otherwise you cannot. Initial value means like we discussed for numc 00, for character again it's 00. Okay. For date 8 times 0 will come as initial value. So
Okay.
that's
Mm-hmm.
the initial values. Yeah. If you want to give that first name or suppose last name, if you want to prepare one table in which we have first name, last name, or something like address, then or we can write age, uh, and what we can do here, this first name and last name, we can prepare this first name and last name as key, we can make it
Is key.
as
Okay.
key. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to give some data element here. Data element means the type of this field, what will be the type of this field. So for that purpose
Character.
data element is, yeah, so that we can use like car 5, something like that. So this is one.
CHAR.
Yeah, car 10, car 5 I think does not exist, that's why it doesn't come
No,
anything.
it's there's a typo in there. CHAR.
Okay, okay, char 5, yes, now it is fine. And car 15 we can write, yes,
Mm-hmm.
car 15. And age we can give like integer,
Num
so int, yeah,
integer.
int one we can give it. The short description will be taken from the data element itself. Okay.
Okay.
Short,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And suppose if we don't want to use the data element and if you want to use the predefined type, uh, then in that case we can just let me take another first name, last name,
Date of
address,
birth.
date of DOB. And here we can define the data element like this. We can click over F4 and we can check for the date, language key int1 into dates. These dates we can, so this is the predefined data type which is also called elementary data type, right? These all are
Mm-hmm.
the elementary data type. Char, these are the elementary data types. With the
Yes.
help of elementary data type, uh, on SAP level, on application level, we have created this, and this has been already created by SAP, this data element.
Yes.
So that's is fine. We can just click over here, automatically the length of that is 8, that will be taken. And here we can write the short description as per our
Mm-hmm.
requirement. So suppose we have to create the, we have to use the elementary data type, we can click over predefined data type over here, predefined data type, and we can write this way, no data element is required. Fine.
Yep.
Yeah. After that, we can click over this technical settings. We have to go to technical settings. We can save it in the local object. We have come here into the technical settings. This is now data class. Again, the first three will be used for the data class. Other three is optional. Like won't be using this other three for ABAP point of view.
Hmm.
So
What is that BW in there?
business
Last word.
warehouse.
Yeah, okay,
business
the warehouse.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, business warehouse. BIBW is there, no, business intelligence and
Yes.
business warehouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So APPL0, application 0, application 1, application 2. Master
Hmm.
data actually this data class is used whenever we define the data class. uh, this will be helpful in memory management. So as per the data class defined, it will clubbed together with the other database which is having the same category, and in this way they saves the memory, and they this is the memory area management purpose. This data class is there for memory area management purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, and now how much record it can store. This is again will be helpful for database and administrator to manage the data, like how big this table is and how we are going to manage. So size category is also important to maintain. This two is very important. We have to give it here, and
What is the
mostly
maximum size? What is the maximum size category?
maximum size is given here, like this much we can allow the maximum size.
Oh, okay. Bloody hell.
Yeah, actually this is the initial size. This is the initial size which we are giving. More than that, this also the data can be there. Suppose we are going to choose 0 to 7,300. It doesn't mean that only we are going to put 7,300 data in this only, or
Hmm.
7,300 records only. That can be more than that also, but this is the initial size. Means this much area will be allocated to this database. When again it will require, again the size will be increased, but then but initial size will be this one. Okay.
Okay.
So now the buffering concept. What happens that there is a presentation, application, and database server. This is our three-tier
Yes.
architecture. And
Mm-hmm.
this, so when application server is going to hit the database and trying to get the data to application server and manipulate the data with the application logic, after that it is going to send the data to the user.